hello again, ladies and nerds, to another glorious episode of Flagons and Dragons. We love it. Episode 106. It's going to be exciting. With us today, we have brought Mike.
Hi. Hey.
Mike, who plays Pasquale, the banana-slinging gorilla from beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, can you recap what happened for our listeners at home?
Well, I was gone for a bit of this, but then I magically reappeared.
Just in time.
When you guys came to a land full of Nazis and Aztec ruins. We managed to escape some bamboo, which wasn't difficult for us. And then we ran into a giant elephant tank thing, and we were gonna wrestle it.
Yeah.
So can you remember, was there any specific strategy going into this tank encounter that you was running into your brain?
I think I was very inspired along the way to do some interesting things.
Like for instance?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it.
Smart man.
Yeah.
All right.
See that.
So, we want to also remind you, Bob, can you remind the people about the GoFundMe page? Because I'm never going to remember this web address. It's so difficult.
We have a GoFundMe page. It's gofundme.com/flagons-and-dragons. And we, as I've said, there are a lot of expenses. Well, not a lot, but there are some expenses that come along with putting this show out every week. And that includes things like hosting the actual audio files themselves, hosting a website eventually. We also have some equipment upgrades that we would like to make to make the audio quality better for you to listen to. So if you can go check out that page, and if you've got a couple extra bucks, throw it our way. We do have some exciting rewards coming very soon to that page. Right now we have one reward level, which is a shout out on the show. We will read your Twitter handle or your whatever you'd like us to read on the show.
A love letter to the girl of your dreams or boy of your dreams. Absolutely.
So if you throw a couple of bucks your way, we'll be glad to give you a shout out, and you can, when you're on your first date and you're in the car, you're on the way to the movie theater, You're playing our podcast, and then you just turn it up at the right moment, and your name comes out of our mouths.
Becky, I love you.
Yeah, and that's just really impressive for your date. These Dungeons and Dragons nerds know who you are. That would be hugely impressive, and I think that's a panty dropper. I don't think there's any save against the panty dropping on that one.
I mean, I hate to speculate.
Yeah,
but I will and say it's probably going to be good.
I think so.
Nothing bad could happen.
If nothing else, it's a +2 to charisma for sure.
Solid
for sure.
I'll accept that.
You're welcome to send us pictures too.
So check
Keeping
that out.
It classy.
So check that out, and check out the GoFundMe page, and check out this episode. Here we go. Woo! Are you guys all excited?
I am amped.
Really
all
excited.
right.
I am juiced.
Here we go. Episode 106. Naztecs.
Fight an elephant tank.
That's elephant. Pasquale, what you got?
I have a 9.
And Pontoon.
20.
And Dirt.
8.
And Sean.
I rolled a 16.
And Craven. 17. That means first action goes to Pontoon.
I look around me and try to find something about approximately the diameter of the elephant trunk. A rock, a large limb.
Roll me a search or a spot, whichever's higher.
13.
You're able to find a rock that you think is about the right size. Maybe a little too big, a little too little. But just eyeballing it in the heat of combat, it'll do. Standard action to pick it up.
My goal is to pick it up and run to the trunk and jam it in.
Okay, I'll give you the pickup and the start to run. Craven.
I'm going to inspire courage +2.
And there it is. Man, I feel so courageous right now.
me too.
Man, I feel like I could take on the whole world.
I feel like I could take on the whole.
The sounds of that ukulele have made me
I
courageous.
feel encouraged.
I feel like I could go out there and get those dreams. Write that great American novel.
Or at least an okay one.
Or at least an okay one. Yeah, at least.
My business plan was actually good.
Sean, that's your action.
I'm going to summon a swarm up the trunk.
Okay. A swarm of what?
A swarm of spiders.
You see this, like, suddenly it's as though the end of the trunk goes hairy for a second, as all these spiders sort of blink into existence, and then the hair seems to, like, recede inside into the trunk.
Okay.
Let's hope he doesn't sneeze.
You hear sounds of, like, clanks and shifting of, like, metal on metal coming from inside the elephant. The tank, at this point, I can just call it a tank now, I think. From inside the tank, and you hear, various sort of muted commands in German echoing from inside. And that brings us to Pasquale.
How close am I to this thing? Should I jump onto it?
You're...
The
Oh.
tree, you know what I mean?
I'm going to do what I did with Derp earlier. Roll a percentile. 2 UFOs, please.
808.
It's close enough. That's a diamond. That's a diamond in a UFO. But I'll give it to you anyway. That's fine. That's an 88. No, it's great. It's perfect. So yeah, you're actually close enough too. So I'm going to need a jump check. So roll a d20 for me. Oh no!
No, it's a
Okay.
2.
So, you leap down.
Bounce up.
Yeah, and like you land on top of the elephant tank, but you do so right as the muzzle / trunk of this thing is shifting around, trying to reacquire a new target. So you land sort of cross-legged, and roll me a reflex save.
20.
20. So you're able to regain your balance on, but that will be all of your action.
Okay.
And that brings us to Dirk.
I guess dirt punch elephant in nose is about all I can do.
I think that's a brave plan for brave little soldiers like
Yeah.
Derp.
That is a 31.
Oh, that'll definitely hit the tank.
Can I do Bugs Bunny style, like stick my fist in the end of the barrel?
I love everything about that, so of course.
All right.
Roll damage.
The next time it sneezes, it will just peel back on
Right,
itself.
banana stuff.
Either that or Derp is going to be the first human candy ball.
Right. That's an 8 plus 12. No. Yeah, plus 12. 20.
20. So you punch that thing with such force, you feel your steel fist sort of shrink down on top of your real fist.
Oh!
Yeah, and it's now pointy. So from now on, your first fist is now piercing damage. It's not bludgeoning anymore.
Okay.
I really like the fact that you just turned your fist into a cone.
Yeah.
You're now stuck in the muzzle of the tank, which I think is going to lead to fun later.
Pontoon, hell!
He took my action. That's exactly what I was doing.
Around this time, everybody give me spot checks. Let me know if you get higher than 20.
I rolled a 20.
Lovely. On the die?
Crit.
Okay.
Crit.
Perfect. You, out of the corner of your eye, and then you turn your head up to look up in the trees, and you see what looks to be a man made out of metal. Not like armor, but like a man that is fully made of metal and gears and stuff like that, leaping nimbly from tree branch to tree branch towards where you're at. Yeah, and he's getting close.
Pontoon, hell!
Which brings us to Pontoon.
Who's around?
All of them.
Everybody? And there's a giant metal dude flying around the trees.
Oh, he's like your size.
Running towards us?
Normal sized metal dude running around the trees.
Towards us?
Yeah,
he's
moving in your
closer.
vicinity.
I will withhold my action and ready to respond to the approaching gear man.
Oh, okay.
And if he gets within 10 feet of me, I'm going to lunge and attempt to grapple him.
Sounds
That's what my ready action is.
good. All right. So then that brings us to Craven.
How far away is he?
From you, let's say like 30 feet.
And he's leaping from tree to tree? Or is he flying?
Oh, the guy up in the trees? Oh, no, he's more like 40 or 50 feet away from you, and he's leaping from tree to tree.
Can I guess what his next tree is that he's going to jump to?
Romeo, wisdom or intelligence, whichever's higher.
23 and a nat 20.
Yeah, no, you're able to, based off like the way he's bending his legs and arching his back and whatnot. Because that's what you do. That's how you steer yourself when you jump, right? You arch your back in the direction.
Sure.
Nope.
I'm going to cast Grease.
Grease on the next branch?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Good idea. Alrighty. What's the DC on the reflex on that? 15? Okay. Okay, great. Lovely. Let's go to Sean.
Can I go up and try to pull dirt out of the elephant's trunk?
Most definitely.
Then that is what I'm going to do. How would you like me to? Well, I mean, I guess I just like grab him.
You grab him and then it's a strength check.
Awesome. 5.
So you're pulling. You're pulling as hard as you can. Nothing seems to be moving at this
So I'm
point.
just kind of giving him a reach around.
I'd say, a hug. A nice, friendly, from behind hug. It's very intimate.
You smell nice.
Thank you.
The nice thing is...
That's what my father always called.
Yeah.
Dead guy?
From behind hug.
Okay, this got dark.
It's been getting dark like that all night.
Sorry, he'll never listen to this podcast.
I know, Lord. That gives you a good vantage point for hearing all the frantic sort of German yelling coming from inside of the tank as they realize that this idiot's fist is stuck in the muzzle. And would you be able to speak German and understand it, you would know they'd be like, some dudes would be like, just fire, and others would be like, no, you'll kill us all. Ah! Around that time, a hatch opens on top, and a dude comes out with a little stick in his hand, and then it starts spitting fire everywhere. My question for you, Derp, is do you have any magic items on you that give you a deflection bonus to AC, like a ring of protection? Nothing like that?
No.
Okay. He's gonna fire then, and awfully. What's your AC?
21.
So yeah, the guy fires his Luger small stick at you, but he's so panicked at the sight of this giant man with metal fists that he just shoots wildly all around you. You see like the ground sort of blow up around you, but nothing actually hits you. And that brings us to Pasquale.
Am I on the other side of this hatch you just opened?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I can give it a good solid kick and probably fuck his day up?
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead and just roll your regular attack with this +9 here. 17. Yeah, you're able to give the hatch a good kick, and as you do that, it hits the guy in the back of the head, and he goes unconscious and limp and tumbles down the hatch of this tank, and the hatch closes. Anything else you want to do?
Are there any of those, are there any holes into this thing that I can see nearby?
Not from the perspective that you have. There's one a little bit farther forward on the front side of the tank. Essentially the driver hole, that he sees through to drive the tank. Like in Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade. That's what we're looking at here.
Can I get to that and do an action?
No, because kicking would be an action. I'll give you getting to it.
Why don't you keep the thing open, the port open? We want in there.
Can I open this thing and jam my cod piece down in it? That's what I want to do. I'm looking for a way to get my cod piece in this elephant.
Here's what I'll do.
Whoa.
Because I love that.
I've never heard that sentence. I never expect to hear it again. And in case you missed it, I'm looking for a way to get my codpiece in this elephant.
That's my ultimate goal here.
Woo! Okay, so what I will give you, since you already kicked the hatch, is I will give you
to deal with that.
reopening the hatch and just shoving your groin area down the hole.
But not...
It won't activate yet until the start of your next turn. You'll just dangle your privatist bathing suit area down into the guts of this beast.
As tempting as that is, I'll go for the driver hole
Okay.
instead.
So you move to the driver hole.
Yeah. Next time, though, I'm gonna stick my dick in this elephant.
That'll bring us to Derp.
I guess Derp's gonna try and pull his fist out of the trunk.
Give me a strength check.
Alright. 15.
You feel it give a little bit, but you need like one more good tug like that, and you'll probably be able to get it out of the elephant. Your
Right.
fist.
Right.
Yeah.
Still have an action, right?
Do I get a second? Since I have 2 attacks, do I get a second try at that?
You're waiting on that guy.
Yeah, I'll get at a -5, like you would be for a secondary attack.
Nope.
Alright. So then that takes us to Craven.
No reaction from the grease on. In the
Oh, snap. I forgot to do that. Let me just roll that reaction to that real quick. Because he was supposed to go right after Derp. So he jumps, zoop, right off the edge of that, just skids as though it was made of butter, and comes crashing down to the jungle floor, taking some damage.
Near me.
Roll a percentile.
100.
Conveniently right at your feet. So you're taking your held action there?
Well, he's prone.
Well, yeah, but because you have a held action,
I have a
correct?
held action.
Alright, so I'll let you have that held action right there. Grapple? Or
He's
just...
prone. How do I grapple a
Just
prone
eat his
person?
face.
just lay down.
Yeah, you just jump on him.
I don't want to be prone myself. Should I coup de grace him?
Just strap.
Well, he's not helpless. He's prone, but he's not helpless.
Yeah, well, I will reach down and I will grapple him.
Okay.
Can I grapple a prone person without becoming prone myself?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it'd essentially be like to pick him up off the ground.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
grapple him.
Yeah, roll your grapple.
35.
Yes! Grappled as anybody has ever been grappled.
And
Well,
my
your spiky
spikes.
damage.
So go ahead and roll them spikes.
+2.
8.
8?
8
Okay.
damage.
So he'll take that. And then Craven, it is actually now for real's your turn.
What's closer, the tank or the thing that he's grappling?
The tank, ever so slightly.
Would I know? Would slow affect mechanical creature?
Do you have Knowledge Arcane? Knowledge Arcana?
Want me to roll it?
Yes, roll that, please.
11.
You get the sense that it might.
Okay, I will cast slow on the tank.
Okay, so, it's a will save, correct? Alright, you get the sense that the spell lands on one target, but it doesn't on others, which is weird considering you cast it on one object. Sean.
So is it dragging a leg behind it now?
I'm gonna try to help Dirk get out again.
Okay.
That's not gonna do it.
6.
Yeah, from the outsider's perspective, it just looks like you're humping Dirk's leg.
Stop! Dead guy. Fuck.
So from inside the tank, you're hearing more frenzied German yelling.
One guy's going,
But that is, again, Dylan has read my mind, and inside you're hearing one very slow talking, Sie heigen, sie welben, sie gugen, sie gagen.
See Velvet?
Sie welben, sie heigen, sie bugen, sie mugele bugele, sie bigen Dommens with the iron fisten
The
is...
funny thing is, in German, that would be a very polite Nazi because
Yeah.
he was using
Z,
would be
which is
very
the
polite.
formal, yes. Well, they're military men. Rigorous. Rigorous? I don't know why I used that word. Anyway.
Rigorous?
Rigorous. Yeah, rigorous.
Yes, rigorous.
Like
Yeah,
they-
look it up.
Like in the
Fucking
break.
idiot.
So you hear, you also hear the sound of metal sliding, like, inside into something else. And, Pasquale, that's your turn.
Okay, now I'm going to stick my cod piece in this thing's hole. And I'm gonna use it to
Use it.
I'm gonna use it to fascinate these guys.
So, what does your little man say
The-
when he goes in there?
The cod piece of attention, it's just gonna say, I bring you a message from Pasquale Vasquez.
I am in your hole. And now I will have your attention.
The fascinating and olden man and the Hagen the Woven, the Verben the Bargain. And all activity in the tank ceases. Derp, that's your action.
Well done, monkey. I got to unfist yet again.
Jesus, fuck.
11.
Oh no!
I rolled all the thunder out of that die. That was the one I
Yeah.
got 2 crits on, and now it's rolling.
Oh man. So no, you feel like you're still stuck in the hole of this thing.
If I had a nickel for every time,
Yeah.
I'd have like 12 cents.
I don't even know how the math on that works. I'm gonna be honest. Did you get change back?
Yeah.
Alright. So then the metal dude that is attached to Dylan Pontoon right now, he will try and weasel his way out of the grapple that we've got going right now with a 20 something. Excuse me, a 31 to get out of the grapple.
31. Defender beats dice.
Yes, so tie goes to the defender. So Dylan, you barely manage to maintain the grapple as this metal monstrosity is like pushing at your chin. It tries to get a punch in, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Stop it! Why are you bothering me?
You hear the sound of like gears whirring inside of this thing. It's Sie Buben, Sie Geigen.
Fucking
Sie letten me gosen, sagen, flaven.
I didn't know Jerry Lewis was that concert.
Well, there's a lot of things about Jerry Lewis you didn't know, my friend.
That's true.
That will take us back up to the top with Pontoon.
Bite his face.
Yeah, bite his face. Yeah, I'm gonna go for the Wolf Bite of Doom.
And that's a manifest power, Yar. That's like a thing, that's like a spell for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. To do that in a grapple, I'm going to need a concentration check to maintain the grapple and do the face bitey.
10.
10 total?
10 total.
Yeah, I will give you the option then. You can maintain the grapple or manifest the wolf.
I'll manifest the wolf.
Okay, so robot springs free, your face turns into a wolf face, and that takes us to Craven.
Is there any like mounds of dirt or anything that I behind?
Percentile for that.
5.
What was that again?
5.
Nope. Nothing that looks to be the right. No, yes, no, there totally is. I take it all back. There is an actually pretty sizable dirt pile to hide behind.
It's a trap.
Yeah. How far away is it?
Oh, you could 5 foot step and be there. It seems like it's like practically a 5 foot step. In fact, it's got a sign that says Craven, you can hide here in it. I mean, it doesn't really. Metaphorically, it does, though.
Can I take my 5 feet and shoot?
Yeah, totally. I'll give that to you.
Okay. Well, the mechanical man's not close to Pontoon anymore, right?
No, he's right next to Pontoon.
But if I shoot at him, is there going to be a chance of missing him and hitting Dylan?
Not unless you horribly botch it.
Well, the way that I can roll.
Well, calculated risk at all times.
But let's go for it.
All right, this week's combat is brought to you once again by beer.
Beer.
We have a new beer this week. This is from Avery Brewing out of Boulder, Colorado, one of my favorite Colorado breweries. And this is their 21 anniversary edition. It's on the bottle. It says Imperial India Style Brown Ale. What do you think about this one, John?
I like it. It's not as hoppy as I normally would like from an India style thing, but it's not like, I don't really feel like it's a true IPA either. It's a brown IPA,
no.
Would you call that? I don't even know.
It's a brown ale. It's a lot of roasted hops in there.
Burnt.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, burnt.
Burnt.
Yeah, like you know how they burn coffee.
They burn coffee before you brew it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same kind of thing. Yeah, it's really nice. It's not super hoppy, but it's got a the maltiness is not a real smooth sweet maltiness either.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's not that sort of thing that you get out of say like a Belgian where the malt is all you have.
Right.
And it doesn't, because it's like a super sweet IPA is always kind of weird and gross to me.
Yeah.
I say that still loving Mercenary, which is a sweet IPA. I'm going to drop that every time we do a beer review.
Yeah,
Mercenary. If you haven't tried it yet, I'm sorry, Avery. I love your beers as well. But yeah, I don't know. What did you have any extra opinions that?
No, I like I like it. It's, let's see, what is the
It's 8.9 ABV.
8.9, so it's a pretty big beer. Or 8.7.
8.7.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, it's good. It's not a style that I'm super familiar with.
Me neither.
The India Brown Ale, and they might have made that up. I don't know. I think it's more kind of an American brown ale that's just hop beer. So they
Definitely.
probably since they did the dry hopping on it, they decided that they could put the India on there maybe.
Oh no, that makes sense.
I don't know, but yeah, it's good. It's not too hoppy. It's got a nice hop flavor to it. It's a little too hoppy for Sean, I think.
Oh yeah, it tastes like burnt dirt. Dirty grass that they just set on fire and then pour water through.
Got the full range of palettes here on Flagons and Dragons.
Yeah,
but yeah, maybe.
Maybe
next week we'll bring a Mai Tai for you or something, a Cosmopolitan.
Yes.
I get more.
Now you're speaking my language.
I get more coffee and chocolate
Definitely.
than dirt.
Well, definitely like a dark chocolate too. I mean, because I think the bitter of the hops in there sort of sets it off and brings it into a that sort of 70-80% cacao sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's clean. I think it's got a pretty clean finish too for such a
definitely
heavily hopped situation.
So I think what America is wanting to know right now is what attribute Sean would give this, like in terms of an attribute
Absolutely.
modifier.
I'm dying to hear it myself.
You get I'm going to go with +10. It's a bitter beer face. Which I guess would be like a -2 to charisma or something.
Yeah, that would definitely be
because I've had like 3 small sips of this, and my face is still kind of grimaced.
So you need a Keystone after this? Is that what you're telling us?
No, dude, I'm drinking some rum chata after this to get this shit taste out of my mouth.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemy indeed.
Blasphemous.
Don't worry. We will bring Sean around over the course of this podcast.
I don't know that we will, but we're going to certainly try.
Damn well try.
I'm going to give this a +4 to strength.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, what else needs to be said?
Well,
That's it. +4 to strength. What about you, John?
I think I would actually just give you a +4 to fort on this.
Sure.
Not the +8 that you'd get from a super heavy stout.
Right.
But in terms of magical attributes of beer, so a ranking system we're all familiar with.
Absolutely.
I'd give it the +4 to fort.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the Avery Brewing 21 anniversary edition. Imperial India style brown ale. So if you like beers like John and I do, then pick one of those up. If you like beers like Sean does, get some rum chata.
Yeah, if you love burnt dirt, fucking go for it.
Or if you're like Sean, get a squeeze box of juicy juice.
There you go. Have a juice box and some graham crackers.
We should do that. Orange slices and juice boxes after every combat.
Mommy and Daddy are drinking beer. Go to your room. With that being said, we will now take you back to the combat. Enjoy.
Suspicious mound of dirt
Mm-hmm.
and shoot at the mechanical man.
With what are you shooting?
Crossbow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that up for me.
21.
You just sails wide, unfortunately. You start to feel something tickling your leg, and you look down and it's an ant about the size of a cigar crawling up your pant leg. 7 more. Man, the Indiana Jones references are coming fast and thick here in this particular world we're in. I don't know, it just seemed appropriate.
Yeah, why not?
So go ahead and roll me a reflex save as several dozen of these come swarming out of the pile of dirt you're hiding behind. 20? Okay, you're able to brush off a lot of them, but you will next round be held to either a move action or a standard action. With all the ants crawling on you now. You got ants in your pants. That takes us to Sean.
I would like to get up on top of the elephant to where he kicked
The hatch.
down, and I would like to open that.
Okay, so you can climb up past Pasquale, who appears to be humping the mouth of this elephant. And
Pat him on the back as I go by.
go get him, champ. And then, with your standard, you're able to throw the hatch wide open. And you look down inside, and there's 3 men inside, which will bring us then to the tank. But the men inside the tank are too busy staring at the wiggling little old man coming through the porthole for the driver. And one of them is still going, "Oh, so pretty, and the olden man, and toboggan, Wiener Schnitzel Matterhorn, toboggan." Which then brings us to Pasquale.
I've got to stay in the same spot to keep me fascinated, right? I gotta keep my junk right up in there.
Yeah, what would you want to do besides keep your junk in there, becomes my question.
Fire some bullets at somebody, probably.
So if you wanted to, rip your codpiece out of the front of the elephant tank and then blast your banana blasts up inside there, I'd still give you the benefit of the fascinate for that round, but nobody else would get it from then on.
Well, I don't want to risk hitting Sean.
Well, Sean's on top.
He's on top?
Yeah, and I don't think your banana blast will ricochet off the surface.
Then I'll do that.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me your attack for a banana blast. 18 will do it, cramped quarters. And then 5 of those. 5 of the Yahtzees.
5 Yahtzees.
5 Yahtzees. That's 20 damage. So, oddly enough, the banana does end up ricocheting inside. But you manage to ping and blow off 2 heads inside the tank with your banana blast of justice. Ha ha! Ha! You still hear in the distance, by the way. And that brings us to Derp.
He's got to get his fist out of this elephant. It's really something to do, apparently. 26 is probably better.
Shunk! Right up out.
And then he immediately punches with his left fist.
Roll that attack. I love you so much right now.
That's a 12.
Oh, you just wide. Just barely wide of the...
He's mad because it held onto his fist for so long. So he swung his other fist.
Oh, it's so good.
He didn't try to scratch his own face with the other one, right?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So, the robot man will step back for a second, crouch really low, and then leap straight up into the sky, like 30 feet up into a tree, and then bound 3 more trees over, just at a full defensive sprint for this crazy robot man. And that takes us back up to you, Pontoon. You hear one very confused German in the tank, covered in blood. Osen Nosen! The Blotzens from the Hetzens! Ach! Ach! The Baden! The worsten Fingsen! Oh, mein Lieber!
Hey, you're not stuck. You missed it. Or you...
No, I'm not stuck.
I'm going to stand there and watch what happens next.
It takes us to Craven.
I think that's the 5th rounder. This is the 5th round. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do Inspired Courage again.
Okay.
For the ants in your pants.
Oh no, I have to move. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to get out of the amp though.
Okay. So you'll go ahead and keep
Rolling around and scraping.
brushing off ants and running. Sean.
The last dude that's in there,
Mhm.
I'm going to inflict moderate wounds on him.
Alrighty. I assume that's one less than your inflict serious. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Maybe like 18.
We're getting a fucking
Love it when a plan comes together.
So 7 plus caster level 14 points.
Oh, yeah. No, he, and he botched that pretty good. So he just goes ahead and drops his desiccated corpse on the ground.
Excellent.
And that will take us off initiative.
I'm gonna run up to the top of the tank and dive into it.
You get up to the top of the tank, you leap in the air, you make this perfect arc as though you're going to dive straight down into this hatch, like it's perfectly aimed. Stuff like that. And then you take 1 point of damage as your shoulders bang against the sides of the hatch. So now you're sort of straight up and down perpendicular with the hatch. Legs
wiggling a little bit.
flailing in the air. But you've got a really good view of a tank full of blood and corpses.
And my cock.
I'm gonna say
You're still there?
Yeah.
You're still there? You're still.
I just firing into it.
Yeah.
But I'll put my cock
I'm
back in there for a
fascinated.
minute.
Yeah, roll a will
playing
save.
his balls like bongos.
Yeah. Just slap him on
And
your
things have
forehead.
gotten silly.
And as I say, yep, I'm gonna sip on this water some more now.
I will save is 17.
Congratulations, you are now fascinated by the weird wiggling little man coming through the driving
I'm
porthole.
not.
You're not.
What are you doing?
Hey, bud.
Get that thing out of the window. What are you doing?
No. Walking.
The man is inappropriate. And get it from the window. My view is obstructed by the giant caterpillar, or whatever it's supposed to be.
I like that it's suddenly gotten hairy. I really enjoy that.
Guys, get me out of the mouth thing.
Goo you. Sorry, that's my walk-in being all of my NPCs. Goo you.
Somebody's got to be able to manipulate all these devices. I can't do it. I can't fit.
I can't remember how to manipulate devices tonight.
Will somebody please pull me out of the hole?
I pull.
Thank you.
So Derp will go ahead and get you back up, facing the right direction.
It's a magic device.
No. Mechanical.
Can anybody fit in the hole?
I can't do
Yeah,
anything.
I can and Craven can, right?
Push the button.
I think everybody except me and you.
Yeah, everybody except Derp and Pontoon can fit inside the tank. And the three of you could fit all together inside the tank if you wanted.
I'll stand guard. You figure it out.
Okay.
It's full of blood, Craven, just to throw that at you.
That's not
And corpses.
I think I'll stay down here.
I'm going in.
I'm going in.
Okay.
I want one of those fire sticks that they had.
Can you guys clean it up a little bit?
I throw poop at you.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Alright, fine. I'm gonna cast glitter dust on it.
Glitter dust on the what?
Sparkling
On the
blood.
blood inside.
Just bloody
It's gotta be
bodies that are all
fabulous.
sparkling. Looks like a goth club.
It's gotta be blood. It can at least
And then
be
I will
fabulous.
tie my scarf over my face and try not to dry heave as I go inside.
Okay, so now all three of you are inside the corpse-filled tank.
Sparkly.
The sparkly corpse-filled tank.
We'll pull the other dead bodies out and figure this thing out.
Hey, Derp, meat. We can hand them up. Are they made of metal? These Nazis.
No, they're regular flesh and blood humans.
Yeah. Here, eat Nazi. The evil is delicious.
Again, a dark turn this session is taken. So they'll go ahead and hand the corpses back up out the tank. What now?
Let's press some buttons.
Yeah, let's push random buttons.
This
See
ought
what
to be
happens.
good.
I'm going to stand guard.
All I can picture is the scene from 1942 where the guy's trying to figure out the aircraft gun.
Don't stand in front
You
of
guys
the front.
should sit on top of this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ride, and you can. One of you can ride.
Why don't you
bitch.
figure it out first, and then I'll
Is
sit
there
on
anything
top.
that looks like levers?
You've got
buttons?
up in the front of this sort of cabin, you have 4 levers, 2 pedals. Off in the side of the cabin, you have 2 more levers and a button
How
And
are you using your remembering voice? How do you know this?
Is this one of the?
I'm visualizing it in my brain holes.
Right.
Is this one of the mist puzzles?
Yes, this is definitely a puzzle from Myst. At least it's not Seventh Guest, right? How do you cut those graves and the skulls together out of the cake? It's the hardest puzzle. All right, so what I say? You got 4 levers, 2 pedals up front. On the side, you have 2 levers and a button, and that's what you've got.
So there's just 2 command areas.
Yes.
Is it rumbling?
No.
Is it on? No.
I'm just gonna randomly pull things. See what happens.
Which area are you randomly pulling things in?
Oh wait. Hold on.
Swimsuit area?
I can inspire confidence theoretically.
You sing really
Do you have?
well.
Does anyone? No one knows how to work this thing.
Well,
Is there an instruction manual? I'm not.
It's
You know.
written in German.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Fortunately, there is. It's written in a language you do not understand.
Shit,
go
I
ahead
would
and press that.
normally
Let
be
me
able to
inspire
do that.
confidence. It should help.
Do you have some language stuff? Because I can't remember any of it.
Well, you have your comprehend languages. I remember that. So
Yeah, I do.
you can use that if you want.
Can I read the instruction manual?
Ah, it suddenly disappeared because I forgot you had comprehend language. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Go ahead.
What does it say?
Okay, what does it say?
So you're gonna need to take about 30-45 minutes to really get the gist of what this thing is saying, figure out how to
Can I read
operate.
it out loud so these guys also understand how it works?
Well, you can be like, oh, hey guys, this lever right here, it does this. This lever over here does that. We need
This
to make sure we don't pull
this one
these this way at the
flushes
same
this way,
time. Yeah.
This one makes decaf.
Exactly. Why did I say there was an instruction manual? That was one of the stupidest DM things I've ever done. Well, here's a tank, guys. Have fun with it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright, so yeah, you take about 30-45 minutes. You learn how to operate said tank, and while you are certainly not skilled operators of a tank, you can make it move and shoot.
That's not all we need, really.
Can we make
Unfortunately, this is the economy model
Okay.
tank.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the optional coffee maker.
These are Nazis.
So where are we headed with our newly acquired tank?
Is there a pyramid there for us?
Let's get towards the pyramid.
Going towards the pyramid.
Well,
So
we
back.
can go get Brett.
I'm more interested in
Yeah.
the. I'm more interested in the.
Well, the tank, the path that the tank is sort of cut through the forest leads back towards the pyramid.
Oh, goody, there's more tanks and more nuts.
This is
They'll
getting
never
more and more
suspect
like
us.
Indiana Jones. Can we fit in any of these costumes?
I'd imagine
They're all
pretty
pretty
well
shedded
blown apart,
and
yeah.
bloodied and shedded. Well, they are shed
Shredded.
if you wanted to shed them. But they are also shredded and
Seems
bloody
sparkly.
It's
and
anyone
super
good?
sparkly. So you guys steer the tank back up the thing.
I'm gonna run ahead. I'm not gonna stand. I'm gonna run about 30 feet ahead and
Okay.
slowly make my way.
With the slow,
gonna ride
bumper
the tank.
bowling.
Derp is riding on top of the tank. He's having the time of his life.
That's lovely too.
Yay!
What do I see?
Isma, put your hands in the air!
It's going about 3.5 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Because we're in first gear and it's revving about.
there's definitely smoke coming from the engine and stuff. We didn't quite get to the transmission part of the manual
Yeah, we're
yet.
driving it first all the way up to
We should probably practice shooting before we have to.
Alright.
We do some of that on the way.
You'll notice that there are exactly 5 shells left in
Oh
this
no,
tank.
let's see. It's just.
Well, go through the motions. Know how to at least do it.
We know how.
There's one chamber.
Well, theoretically, you know how.
Yeah, we've read the
They have
thing.
diagrams of smiling people going before them.
Yeah, we've read.
Okay, so
Have you heard of it?
yeah,
So
Well, and in the manual.
Unloaded, yeah.
yeah. So there's one in the chamber right now. So it's a
Which
button is that?
Is it still? Step here in
he modify
No, the spiders all died from the Eldritch Blast.
No, the
the
barrel.
rifling? Did he modify the rifling?
No, the barrel modified.
Okay.
Yeah, which would have been fun. I like where your brain's at, though. Okay, so firing this tank requires all three of you to work together. So what I'm going to need is a d20 roll from all three of you. 16. 7. 20. Alright.
Crit!
That's enough. It fires. It heads mostly the direction you want it to. Blows up satisfyingly.
Do it again!
Alright, so we go ahead and chamber another round. And then keep rolling up towards the large pyramid. As you get close, the forest sort of clears. You see a big, essentially it's a guard post. It's a big chain link fence with two little guard stations on either side and towers up on top.
Let's take out the towers.
And you see men shouting, starting to grab their rifles and point them in your direction.
Well, is it because there's a ogre man on top of the
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
Let's blow up the towers. Either one.
Left it is 3d20s, please.
8. Roll the 3.
It's just barely enough. Yeah, I have a great mechanic for this in my brain. Anyway, so yeah, you just barely managed to not hit the tower. Sorry, that was too many.
That means hit, right?
Yeah, you hit it.
Okay.
You just barely hit the ground right at the base of it, and the leg explodes off, and the tower starts tilting and leaning and falling, and it falls on the gates. The gate goes away. Dudes are firing machine guns from the other tower, keep roaring forward.
I'm riding this tank.
Lovely.
Yep. 13.
1.
11. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, you miscue the latching, knocking, firing, all that kind of stuff. The round explodes. Or in the barrel. So what I'm gonna need is reflex saves from everybody as the tank goes away.
Oh, you just took the tank
I
away.
knew you'd find a way to take
Give
the
us and
tank
you
from
take
us.
it.
Oh man, I can't let you go into this
You got
encounter with a
22.
tank. 22? 15?
12.
12?
17.
17. Alright.
We scramble out of this.
Higher than a 20 take 12 damage, lower than a 20 take 24. So guys, that didn't really go as planned. I mean, it was kind of cool for a minute though. We all had a tank.
We had a tank.
And tanks are fun.
Tanks are lots of
Yeah,
fun.
it was an A-team.
Yeah, I was. Oh man,
It was the A-team.
for a week afterwards, 2 weeks afterwards, actually, it's ba 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 ba, and now the
Now
whole
it's right
drive
back.
home is going to be the A-team over and over and over again. Ba 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 ba.
But unfortunately, we aren't quite as good as the A-team. Somebody gave Face Hannibal. Is it Hannibal the crazy one?
It's
Mad Dog.
Murdoch. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Murdoch. Somebody gave Murdoch the controls to the gun in the tank, and he blew up a shell in the barrel. So we've lost the tank.
Well, that's what happens when you have a bunch of medieval-y sort of people trying to operate a piece of equipment from the 1930s, 40s.
Yeah.
Far beyond their technological prowess. I mean, let's be honest, it's the year 2014 right now, and I don't think I would know how to fire a shell out of a tank.
Guaranteed I wouldn't.
I'd probably just drop it and it'd blow up.
You might even say we had a foul or faux pas.
I don't know why you would say that, but sure, you could say that.
That's lovely. No, it's wonderful. As always, we'd like to remind you guys to, get up on iTunes, rate us, review us, because every one of those helps us out a little bit.
Yep.
And like we also always say, please, 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 if you enjoy the show, share it with a friend. Post it up on Facebook, post it up on Twitter, link back to our page.
I was just rolling to see if anybody would do it.
Did we crit, Bob?
I crit.
Joke's on you guys. You can't see one way or the other. We fudged that roll. Link back to our Twitter. That's at FlagDrag, or to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/FlagDrag. As always, I've said as always 6 times, so I'm going to just throw it to you, Bob.
All right, well, I think that's all we have for this week, so thanks for listening again. Come back next week and see what's inside this big fucking pyramid that we pulled up in front of in a tank. And blew up
like
part
the
of.
classic Dungeons and Dragons adventure that we run here.
Absolutely. And until then, roll a d20, drink, repeat. Flagons and Dragons is DM'd by Jonathan Markheim. Recorded, edited, and engineered by Bob Morsch. Like the Flagons and Dragons page on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at FlagDrag. You can also send an email to flagdragpodcast@gmail.com.